we get going, though, I'd like to take a second to give a shout out, a street smart business shout out to Mr. Bill Bader of Summit Motorsports Park. He actually spoke for all of us small business owners and entrepreneurs. He vented his frustrations with the current shutdown and the way that our freedoms and liberties have been taken away from us, being told when we cannot do business. Take a moment if you get a chance. We'll put a link down in the comments to go to his Facebook page and watch the video. It's about 20 minutes long, but you will be glad that you did. So, Mr. Bader, thank you so much for standing up for small business owners and entrepreneurs. It's much appreciated. Hey everybody, Eric Brown with Street Smart Business. Here for episode 2, we're going to talk about small business survival and scripting your grand reopening. I want to take a moment to thank Kelly Lippis at the Huron County Chamber of Commerce for letting us put out a little bit of information that hopefully you find helpful and that can help you get back up and running as soon as we're allowed to. You know, I know we're in what seems like week 50 of the grand shutdown of our economy. And I can also know that I feel your frustration growing, your anger growing, your desperation growing, the fear growing. And I'm here to tell you that there's no greater people on this planet that can help put that to rest, and that's you. Look in the mirror. Victor or victim? It's going to be our choice. There's things that all of us can do, things that all of us can implement, and we all have strengths that we can bring to the table to get us back and up and running as fast as possible. You know, I had a discussion the other day with a client who was very excited that they had got their $1,200 of relief money in the mail. And also in the same breath said that it was great that we would stay shut down and keep our businesses closed. So we had to get into a brief economic lesson about where that $1,200 came from. You know, there's a reason why the United States is the safest country in the world, the wealthiest country in the world, the most productive country in the world. It all comes from the income generated from small business owners, entrepreneurial people, and industrialists. This money doesn't come from the government. It is not free. It is paid for every single day with blood, sweat, and tears from small business owners just like you. So once we had a chance to re-educate this person and understand why we needed to go back to work, again, with safeguards and using our heads and common sense like all good business owners would do anyways, they seemed to understand and wished us well as we got back to work. I know as we start talking about scripting, it's going to come across like, duh, that's kind of common sense, Eric. But I'm here to tell you, in every time of chaos, there's always winners and losers. Chaos creates opportunity. And the opportunity in this particular case is going to go to the business that's up and running the day that they're allowed to go back to work. The business that waits to implement and start doing things to the day that they're able to start opening, that's the business that's going to lose out of this situation and miss out on a ton of potential growth and opportunity. When we talk about scripting, it's no more or no less than this. What we want to do is we want to take the time to go through and break our business down into its critical functions. We want to look at everything that we do from front to back. Most importantly, we want to start at the back where the sale is actually made, whether it's a sale of a product, a service, whatever it is you do and whatever it is you create. We need to start at that end sale, that end transaction with the client or the business or whoever you work with, and we have to build that backwards. We want to make sure that every single piece of that process that goes from raw commodity, raw intellect, raw imagination up until that sale point with the client, we want to make sure that each of those steps are already staged, properly funded, proper inventory in place, and all the right manpower all set up and ready to go. So we make sure that when we can start, that process is all set up and it will go as smoothly as possible. Some examples would be, when are we going to bring the employees back? What employees are we going to bring back? How are we going to do it? How are we going to build it? When are we going to build it? What do we need to build it? What do we need to sell it? When are we going to put that new marketing plan in play? When should we start talking to our clients and telegraphing the moment that we're going to open our business? Each and every one of these details are things that you could spend the next 14 days or so before we're allowed to open and start putting them down in minute detail. It's critical, mission critical at this point, with as much loss as all of us have had to face right now. The sooner that we can turn that revenue stream back on, the sooner it is that we'll come out of this and we'll start growing and building and becoming stronger again. Now, within our states and within our national government, we know that they've shut off the economic engine, the motor of the world. There is no question that every single day that those of us who own businesses, those of us who design businesses, sell things, every single thing, whether it's a medical supplier, a first responder, Each item they use for their protection, each medicine that's given in the hospital, each car that drives the person to their job has all been created by a business person, by an entrepreneur, by an industrialist. Business is the motor of the world. You cannot shut it off and expect to still have the safest country in the world, the most productive country in the world, and expect to have a big full checkbook of free money to pass around to everybody. So today I challenge you, and I know you're up for the task. I know most of you, and I appreciate you taking time to watch this, but it's time to go back to work. It's time to clear the eyes, brush off the blood off the corner of our mouth, and get ready to go stand up and kick ass again. It's time. We have to get it done. You know, today when I was driving to town, non-quarantining, I got to see an eagle flying. I guess some more have been released in our area. And it's easy, as I pulled into the field to stop and watch it for a few minutes, to sit back and look at our history, to look at all the things that have happened to us as a people, to look at all the things, fair or unfair, that we've overcome, to think about our founding, to think about those men that risked their lives to give us civil liberties, freedoms, and the ability to do as we wish as an adult and a free person in this society. It makes me very crazy to sit there and think at how fast and how easy those liberties and those freedoms have been given away for the sake of safety. Again, I'm tired of hearing as a business owner that because I want to open my business and because I want to do all the things that I do for a living, that I don't like other people, that I have money as my motivator over lives, that I don't like grandma and grandpa. That's the absolute most absurd thing that I've ever heard in my life. As business owners, we are caregivers. As business owners, we create the products that take care of people, that protect people, that make them safe. We create the products and the services that make sure that life goes on even when the biggest catastrophic situation happens. In every instance in our country's history, when everything was on the line, it's the workers out here in the country in towns like Norwalk, Ohio and Huron County, Ohio, that put boot to dirt and got to work and started making the economy grow and move again. I am so honored and humbled to be part of your life and to be one of you. I say this, that no matter what happens in 2 weeks, everybody has to make their own business decision, but I say we go back to work. I say we start rebuilding from this. We've faced worse, we've faced more, and we've faced harder, and we can do it. God bless, kick ass.